Officially click the record button. Yo, what up? Me and Barrett here are streaming, commentating over top of the first Riftbound regional that happened at time of recording last weekend, like 5 days ago. 5 days ago.
Yeah. Because spoilers, it is now Friday morning or going into Friday for China. Because for us it's Thursday night. They're already kicking off their next regional this weekend.
Yeah.
Like they're going into that.
They're
So
headed to it. So in this first one, it looks like we've got Misfortune versus Kaisa. Barrett, as we get into this first video, what is your experience with? I have to put on some music or I will die. What is your experience with Riftbound as a whole?
as a whole,
Yeah.
like how much I played or just like in general?
All of it. People on this channel barely know who I
Yes.
am. They definitely don't know who you
Absolutely. Absolutely. To kick things off, hi, my name's Barrett. I am typically a commentator for Universus, which is another card game owned by UVS Games. Because, surprise, I work for UVS Games. I'm on their game design and playtest team. So I also am now a content creator for Riftbound. It's my YouTube channel is Riftbound Ramblings. You'll hear my voice. It's very an homage to PTCG Radio, one of my favorite Pokemon content creators. But the idea is I just do a news and updates channel, and sometimes I talk about some deck lists. So my extension and experience with the game is I work for UVS Games. I've demoed the game quite a bit. I've played quite a bit of the trial decks against each other. I'm not involved with any game design or playtest for Riftbound specifically, but I'm a big fan of League of Legends, the IP, and I'm a big fan of strategic card games, and I just love how this one plays, and I'm a big fan of everything that's going on with it. So basically, since before Project K was even announced, I had already been playing this game. Which is very nice, but now that everything is public and everything is good to go, I am allowed to show my love and my appreciation for the game, and I'm excited to play a game like Riftbound compared to other games that I played in the past, like Universus. So that's my experience. I hope to get into commentary for this game. I hope to continue to do content creation for this game, and I hope to play this game also competitively, all in one go.
My name's Tam. This is my channel, obviously. If you want to support Barrett, please go hang out. You can on the YouTube, you can click Riftbound Ramblings in the title, and it will send you over to his channel. Please go show him some love as he comes on. So, Misfortune versus Kaisa. What are your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, so Kaisa is very much, I would say, like the deck to beat right now. Not only in the results from this weekend, but in general, Kaisa decks convert to their top cuts a lot better than other of the top decks in the format. Other decks people will be talking about are Victor, which hopefully we'll see today. You'll also see things like Master Yi, which was the most represented character at this event. And then also, at least here in North America, and the English players have a lot of eyes on Set as well. Spoilers, there's no sets in this tournament, so we're not going to see that one. But Kaisa is the name of the game.
Like at all?
Well, I get all. Like China said, nope, Set's not good. And didn't play it, didn't bring it to the event. But that being said, Kaisa here going first is going to matter a lot because as you can see on their turn 2, although they didn't do anything on turn 1 and they don't have any blue runes yet flipped over from their rune deck, being immediately to go to 4 energy and play one of the strongest champion legends in the entire champion legend units, I should say, in the entire game, which is the Fury Domain Kaisa for 4. And it doesn't cost any recycle. So you get to keep your tempo, and as soon as this card readies, conquer a battlefield, you're going to draw a bonus card. And drawing in this game, as you know, Tam, this is a draw 1 game compared to what we play, like Universus, matters a lot more. But we started with a stacked deck over on the Misfortune side. How is Misfortune going to have to win this game? Misfortune, in my opinion, is all about the combat movement, right? You think of the 5-cost domain champion unit that lets you ready another unit when that one swings, using cards like First Mate to ready up other things. So lots of combat tricks, as well as giving a unit ganking for the turn, which is what your legend does. You really need to get on the battlefield, and you need to get on the battlefields fast, which is just scary against a Kaisa deck, because sometimes cards that deal damage to your opponent's units have to interact with units that exist on battlefields. So as soon as you even attempt to go for a battlefield, you might have to play a little bit of defense and not use any of your not move any of your units onto battlefields right away. So kicking things off, we saw the stacked deck on turn 1 for the Misfortune player, looking at the top 3 cards of your main deck, putting one of them into your hand, the rest go on the bottom, and then immediately here after on their turn 2, opening with a Sabotage, which is essentially like Thoughtseize. They were able to grab a non-unit. Yeah, non-unit card and say, hey, you don't get access to that one. But based off of discard piles, I think we actually didn't get anything.
Yeah,
I didn't look quick enough.
Or
sorry, it recycles it. That's why it goes to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah,
Sabotage goes to the bottom of the deck. But
so I will say with that with a card up your sleeve, we did grab the 9-drop Aurora card.
The Dazzling.
So full disclosure, night of, I actually stayed up and I watched like 2 or 4/5 of this match. I don't actually know how it ends, but this Misfortune deck is really cool. Really, really cool, and it's like its main idea, its main identity is to ramp up, play this thing, because there are some crazy moves in purple that you get to, or Chaos, right? Chaos?
Yeah, you get
purple.
That I'm not gonna correct you all day.
That are, I'm gonna ask all day. Are really, really big and swarm the board with these massive units that Kaisis is gonna have to try and use spells to blow out of the water as a pirate.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we go back to Kaisa's, this is now Kaisa's 3rd turn. So we've ramped now to 6 runes, and we luckily did get a Mind Rune, which means we were able to swing with our Kaisa onto the battlefield, generate a point. Great. And then we drew our card, and then with that 1 blue rune we had, we played our Sprite Mother, which gives us a Sprite token. It is a temporary unit, which means it will die before it scores the hold point on that other battlefield, but it comes in ready. So because your opponent isn't contesting you at all on battlefields, you don't need to double up onto the battlefield you already took with the Kaisa. You instead just immediately score a 2nd point, which gets things going. And because and then we went back to Misfortune's turn. We paid 6 energy to get to play a card, but because we didn't go to the battlefields, we're already up to 3 points as the Kaisa player.
Yeah. This very, very aggressive over here on Kaisa.
Sorry, Catalyst. We used the Catalyst of the Aeons is where we got. We channeled 2 more. We ramped. So that next turn, like you said, we have that Dazzling Aurora in our hand. We're gonna have another do nothing turn, which is play Dazzling Aurora, and at the end of our turn, we'll be able to get a unit onto the field. But it's still going to be a little bit harder. Now that Sprite Mother back on Kaisa's now 4th turn of the game, the Sprite Mother's ready. We can go to that other battlefield that we didn't get the hold point on. We're going to score 1 there. And because we now have control of that battlefield, we're going to slam this Darius from our hand and immediately put it on that battlefield to help protect that Sprite Mother.
Yeah, so now 9 might over on 1 and then 4, none on the other because we retreated the
We brought Kaisa back.
Love it.
Keeps it safe, and you would rather the Kaisa
right?
Yeah, and draw another card, exactly. But here comes the Dazzling Aura. We're going to tap out our entire board, basically, except for 3 runes. And we're immediately going to get a Carnivorous Snapvine off of the top, which is going to help us get rid of something on the board.
Yeah. It is things only at battlefields, though. So, and this is something I noticed. Every time that a card revealed, you have to recycle things. You have to let your rival cut the cards that get recycled. So
yes,
you shuffle them up, hand them back. They get to cut and then put them on the bottom. But the Snapvine gets played
immediately
and then smoke screened.
Yeah, gives it -4 might up to a minimum of 1. And because Snapvine says they fight each other, when we targeted the Darius, which because you must make the choice of the target before the ability resolves, you use the smoke screen because it's reaction timing, and your Darius just gets the kill on the Snapvine. So not only did we spend our whole turn on the Dazzling Aurora, we immediately lost the unit that we played from it.
Yeah, nothing to show for it. Kaisa goes all the way up to 5 scored points here, and basically, Misfortune's done nothing the entire game. Up to 6, draw an extra card. Tough spot to be in.
Yeah, now that we have the Dazzling Aurora on the field, as we pass back, we have our 3 ready resources, but Kaisa player here is going to take both of their units and move them back to their base, keep them safe, and essentially set up for game on the next turn, because Kaisa here, conquering again, drawing another card, is going to go and take us to 6 points. If Kaisa lives here, takes us to 7, and all we have to do is take that open battlefield. We're going to just draw and generate a bunch of value. Here comes the Trifarian. It costs 2 less because of Legion. So, we not only played a Yordle that draws us a card, but then we also play the Trifarian. We have so many units, and basically what the Misfortune player has to do this turn is board wipe. If you do not board wipe here, you lose the game. And it looks like the way that we're going to try and board wipe is with the units off the top of our deck, because we played a 2nd Dazzling Aurora, and we hit a Mind Splitter.
Yeah. Mind Splitter rips a card out of hand, but doesn't actually do anything to the board, and that's what matters here.
Yeah, so it rips a card out of the hand, comes in exhausted, of course. That one not being able to change the board state. If we can't find a way to basically answer 4 of these units on the board, it looks like it's going to be gain. That was the 9-drop or 8-drop.
Soul Gorger.
It grabs a unit from your discard pile,
which is
when
that
you play
snap, which means we get to shoot the Kaisa. But there's still 4 guys at home that can just like move up to the base and score both those points that we care about.
Yeah, so I think it's still going to be game.
Unless
we're still
we
on
just
reaction.
smoke screen
Another smoke screen kills the Snapvine when it goes to do the play once again.
He said, "Nah, no thanks." Dang, smoke screen more like
the hold here from Kaisa will bring us to 7 points. We ready up. We channel our 2 runes. We draw our card. We put 1 unit on the open battlefield, and the game is over basically.
Round up is what I was thinking of. Round up kills weeds.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Round up
I could
weeds.
I could not think about it. Struggling, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the question here is, do you think the Misfortune player has any sort of, like, movement trick to move one of these 2 units onto that battlefield? How many of these units do you commit right away? And then maybe do we have to rebuttal on our own turn? So we're just going to move the 1, go to 8.
Is the other point that we have to have
we might have
9?
We might be on the battlefield that says
it.
you have to have 9. I didn't go look them all up. I was so busy trying to jump in on the game. So it looks like we're on the battlefield that says you have to have 9 to win. But playing a Dr. Mundo from our hand, Dr. Mundo is a 6 might unit that gets +1 might for every card that is in your trash.
Yeah.
So it's just a big body. And its downside is that you have to keep recycling cards back into your deck from your trash. So it gets weaker and weaker. But as you can see right now, it's at +6 might, putting it to 12, which is going to help combat against not only the cards that Misfortune has the potential to play, but again, we have to find a way to wipe the entire board off. So only putting 1 unit on each of these battlefields matters a lot. We're going to go ahead and play the Falling Star, I think is which one that is. I think we're going to try and eliminate that unit that grabbed this one from our...
For 6 twice, right?
Not 6 twice. This is the one that shoots 2 things,
or 3 twice.
or it could pick the same thing 3 twice. Yeah. So, and then it looks like we're going to move our Darius back, just keep everything safe away from the battlefields, and ask your opponent, hey, you have to wipe my entire board here. I go to 9 points and I win the game, whether that's from the hold or conquering every battlefield. So the goal is that you hopefully don't give it to them with the hold. You want to make them have to conquer every battlefield, is the best place that you can put your opponent.
I just don't know how we get there because of how large our moves are. Because we went second, we just like got the Auroras on a little later. Ancestor didn't find enough ramp, but like there's dudes in hand. We got some massive bombs here, but like they're just too slow to get out because Misfortune gives ganking. She doesn't give actual movement like Yasuo. Like she can't
correct.
emergency move somebody up and be like, hey, let's rumble.
The good news is that
love this shot.
And that's the other problem is that like Misfortune does a lot more of that kind of battlefield movement, and a lot of your removal, at least in this style of deck, is going to be from you just having your units hit their units on battlefields. But the Kaisa player is playing incredibly well here and keeping all of their units safe in their base, which is typically what you want to do as the Kaisa player, because a lot of your removal just comes from the cards in your hand. But we did play another... I'm going to look up the name of this card instead of just saying what it does. But from our hand, we straight played a Soul Gorger, which allows us to bring another unit from our discard pile back into play. You must still pay its power costs, but we are going to swing our Mind Splitter into the Mundo. It is only a 7 might, but I must have missed us playing another card.
So we had the
Snapvine again?
Snapvine. We fight. It loses the 6, then the Mind comes in so they can trade.
Correct. Yeah, so because units don't heal from their health until showdowns resolve.
Yeah.
Basically, and then there's another timing for them as well. But basically, if you do any outside of showdown damage to a unit, that will stick around so that when the Mind Splitter goes in, it's still going to only trade with it. And then we're hoping we hit some more stuff off of the top. The Dead Bloom here is pretty good.
It's good, but it's not enough, right? Like, we just move one to each base and then it's over?
Because Dead Bloom can only be played at
occupied
battlefields, occupied battlefields, and there aren't any here. So this is just going to go up and go to 9. Or it's not 9. You have to win off of it. So we're going to draw a card. And then on that you say thumbs up. And it looks like game 1 going to Kaisa here in a solid 19-minute game.
Yeah, pretty good.
Wowee.
Back to the casters in the booth.
I forgot. I was like, why is this so fast? And I go, oh, because we're at 1.5 speed.
We are 1.5 speed.
Making me yap so fast.
We're going quick with it.
Oh man,
Misfortune obviously is going to go first here. Is it a choice? Do you get to choose?
It is a choice. You are allowed to say I want to go second, but with the amount of pressure that Kaisa does, if you let them build a board first and then use their removal spells, versus if you generate a board first and they use their removal spells instead of them playing units, you just slow down their accumulation of points, because Kaisa has to play units on the board, but it's a spell deck. Like, at its core, Kaisa is playing spells. It plays units so that it can still win the game, because it has to do that.
Yeah.
So you still pretty much always want to go first. And obviously, we're playing a Body Domain Dazzling Aurora deck. The faster you're able to play your ramp spells, as we play Mobilize here on turn 1 to get us to 3, it's as if we went second anyway, Tam.
Correct, yeah. And that extra rune, I think, is going to be really important. When we get a chance, what are the battlefields that we have out here?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one on the left, so bottom for us, is the signature Kaisa one that says spells to units here deal 1 more. Okay. I wish I knew the name of all these battlefields. I don't. And then the ice. Yeah, pull them. Yeah, I am pulling them up. Sorry, I have to scroll because this database is huge. Yeah, so that's the signature Void Gate is the one that we have over there. It is switch upside down on the other one. And then the other one, I think, is a very signature Bear one, which is Sigil of the Storm, that says when you conquer here, you have to recycle one of your runes. So if you're a ramp deck, you benefit from it, but it's going to dissuade the Kaisa player from going onto that one quite a bit, because you don't want to lose your runes. But again, here we go. We hit our 4 runes right off the bat on the second turn, and then we get to play this Kaisa unit very quickly.
And again, this is 2 games in a row we've seen double Dazzling Aurora. This game, though, we went first, so I think it's going to be high impact.
Nice.
And we don't get smoke screen or snap fine.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah, snap fine on curve as the Kaisa player is tapped out matters a lot more for this game than it did on the last one, of course. So going to 6 runes now here for Kaisa, 2 of which are red. We're going to be able to just slam this Darius here. It means we do have to recycle one of them. So just getting another big body on the board. But 5 might is not enough, at least when you're staring across other Snapvines. So the question is, do we have another strong play here? And based off of what's in our hand, and we are at 7 runes. So we can tap out sideways.
Next turn is Aurora,
wow.
Right?
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to, instead of playing all of our energy sideways to play a 7-drop, we're going to hold it for our cheeky little reaction that I think we have in our hand. And as you can see too, Tam, the Snapvine going to the base, we're going to get our first point. That's the first point we've scored all match.
The match!
And now it's the question of, like, the Kaisa player has to make a choice. Do we try and contest here and use, like, a combat trick? We're going to go with the Cleave. Nice 1 mana. Give my unit Assault 3. And then we're immediately going to rebuttal it. There it is. That's why we kept our mana up, is that we have this 2-cost Chaos spell. As I go find it. Boop, 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 boop. Just so I get the name right.
Spooky Lantern, I think is the name of it.
Fight or Flight, which is
you
can move a unit from a battlefield back to its base. So in the middle of combat, you swung with your Darius, you gave it Assault 3 with the Cleave, and you go, actually put that guy back, and because you already exhausted it to move it, it can't move again. But we play our second card for the turn, which is the Gear, which says our Darius readies when you play your second card for the turn, having the immediate answer to the answer. Swing into it, get our second point for the game, and the Snapvine is now dead. And you called it. We're going to go back to Misfortune's turn. Dazzling Aurora right off the bat. And if we don't hit something impactful, that Darius is going to live here.
I mean, there's even a world where, like, if we hit Soulcorcher off the top, or the
Dead Bloom.
Dead Bloom. Yeah. I mean, this Darius
Dead
is going
Bloom
to
Predator.
probably die.
it having deflect as well is going to help us at least a little bit. So you can play it to an occupied battlefield. The smoke screen is going to cost us an extra recycle cost to do so because Dead Bloom has deflect. So that's why you can see the player turn the gear sideways as well as the Kaisa. Kaisa for the spell cost on the smoke screen and the gear for the deflect cost. And so we had the answer for it. Once again, smoke screen being one of the key pieces of this deck.
Yeah. Smoke screen feeling really high impact to deal with these high might cards that Misfortune is kind of dropping for free, but the tempo is still saying even going second on Kaisa's edge.
Yeah, Kaisa gonna get more cards in hand, right? Lecturing Yordle here coming down for 3 draws us a card. It also has tank, which might matter later. But our Darius is ready as well, and we've already scored off the Void Gate, so of course I think we're going to immediately move it here. And if we play a second card this turn, you can actually use Darius again for, putting more pressure on your opponent. We could go into the Sigil of the Storm. Yes, we have to recycle a rune, but that second card for the turn... Yeah, we played the Cleave. It says you must recycle a rune. It does not pay a power cost. So you do have to recycle the rune because of the wording of the card.
Okay.
It looks like we're going to recycle back this committed or exhausted Mind Rune. But we scored 2 points that turn. Once again, Kaisa's at 4. And if you don't answer the Darius, we go to 5.
Very scary, but it looks like we're dazzling once again. This is the game plan.
I think we're in a much better state this game to do the dazzling. And a second Dead Bloom off the top. We're gonna ask the same trick.
More smoke screen.
And it's the same exact answer. We turn the same card sideways. We get around the deflect, and the second dazzling Aurora here is gonna go off. And it looks like this one's on just a Snap Vine.
Yeah.
Which still contests the Darius, and you were basically asking the Kaisa player once again, do you have another answer? Yeah, Darius has 5 might base.
And again, these cards that we're ripping off the top, yes, they're not sticking around, but it is taxing Kaisa's hand, and we actually haven't really played anything out of Misfortune's hand. So now that we've got these double Auroras on the board that are going to start getting us this free advantage, I can start spinning my runes and recycling them back for actual cards that I've already just drawn inherently.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, too, we saw in Game 1, remember, because the Kaisa deck is playing at least 1 copy of the main-boarded Dr. Mundo. So you still also spending your resources and getting things in the trash is okay, because it just makes your Mundo bigger, and eventually Mundo gets too big for something like this body deck to beat over, even with Dazzling Auroras. But we played another Darius that we had in our hand, and then we also played the Falling Star. That was our second card, which means the Darius actually readies itself. We still can go for the double score here, and it feels really good going up to 6 and passing it back, and all you're really doing is staring across a double Dazzling Aurora, and so we have to see, again, more onus off of the Misfortune deck to basically full remove the Kaisa's board, but you know Kaisa's holding on to more answers. So leading off with something like a Sabotage could tell you what's going on here first before you commit on what card you could play with. I see an Anivia in hand. It seems I see another Mind Splitter. So here it is. The Sabotage coming in here matters a lot because these are the answering spells that your opponent will be using. I mean, we only get to pick 1 or 2 of these cards, right? It's either going to be the Falling Star or it's going to be, I have it up right here, the Hextech Ray.
And one's 3 twice or 3 once. I know what I'm thinking. And that needs to be recycled, not discarded, yes? Unless I'm crazy.
There's one already in discard pile, the one we played last turn.
Love it.
So it did get recycled. They got it. The judge nailed it. And here we're going to finally play our champion unit here for the Misfortune deck. This is the body domain one, and we are going to pay its accelerate cost, it looks like. So it's going to come in ready.
I love this.
Which means we can swing with it right away. And if you swing with it, you're allowed to ready any card. So you could ready a rune here. That's all you could do. Like, I mean, that's where we go with. Yeah, they're going to read it for you.
Yeah. Ready the rune. Looks like we're gonna shoot it for 3, try to trade.
I think we're just taking a look. Yeah, so here's the Hextech Ray. The Hextech Ray does say deal 3.
Yeah, but it moves. It still moves, so we still get to re-ready the thing. And I think that's what's important. That's what we're waiting for.
Oh, I think the judge is telling him, like, hey, I think you're allowed to, like, hey, just so you know, you are allowed to ready a room, but I think we've moved past the state, so it doesn't really matter as much. But they are going to trade because the deal 3 and then the Yordle in itself still fight. And then we're immediately going to the Dazzling Auroras. Snapvine off the top removes the Darius. And our second one is a Soul Gorger, which gives us another unit back. We still have to pay its power cost once again. But we're going to pick the Dead Bloom. It's going to come right back, which has Deflect. And now all of a sudden the Kai'Sa deck is in a much scarier position.
Well, the question is it? It might be the Dead Bloom. It might be the Misfortune, because Misfortune lets you re-ready so you can move something up, move Misfortune, move it back, and then protect a little bit. Not that this Kai'Sa's having any problem fighting the things that are currently at base.
Yeah, I need to go double check as well as Soul Gorger. Yeah, you can pick any unit. So you could pick the 8-cost Dead Bloom, but you're right. We are going to pick the Misfortune here instead. So
it might also
we're going to pay
does Dead Bloom
6...
cost 2 power, recycled power to do it?
Yeah.
Because if so, we couldn't do it. We didn't have the orange.
We don't have the orange. You're right.
So it had to be Misfortune.
You're right. Yeah, so it looks like the big play here for the Kai'Sa deck is we're going to tap a lot of our resources sideways, use Kai'Sa. We're going to Progress Day. We're going to draw a bunch of cards.
Love this card.
That's all
I played a Lux deck last night that had it, and draw 5 was sick.
yeah. So you drew your 4, and then because we've already played a card, the Legion off of this Trifarian makes it cost 2 less. So we turn completely sideways to get cards back in our hand and basically try and recreate a hand state while also having 1 unit on the board. And so now this is the point of the game that you have survived against the early aggression onslaught that the Kai'Sa deck can do to your board state. It is up to Misfortune to establish a board and start scoring points back while also not leaving positions open so that they can score the last ones they need to win the game.
Interesting not to float a resource here, because we're going to be recycling that rune. If we decided to play any other cards, it's just kind of wasted material, depending on what we care about.
You're 100% correct. You're right. Unlike things like Magic the Gathering, your rune pool, I believe is what it's called, stays there for the entirety of the turn. So you definitely could have just...
Can you tap your rune in response to you moving, similar to other card games?
Yeah, I believe just like how you can see on characters, legends like Kai'Sa and Darius, I think they're all reaction timing.
Okay.
And you I guess but you can't react to generating energy.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know.
I don't know. It's a good question to ask.
That's a rules question. I have the rule book, but it's underneath this tab, so I'd have to not be watching. Okay, so we conquered. We conquered under the sigil. We had to recycle a rune. We're going to swing with the Misfortune now after we swung with the first 2, which allows us to ready the Soul Gorger. We're going to give the Soul Gorger ganking for the first time. We're going to see the Misfortune effect, and we're going to be able to take over both battlefields in the same turn and also represent a lot of might onto them. So we're going to go ahead and use their first Dazzling, and we're going to get another Soul Gorger.
And these Aurora does not say play to your base; it just says play them. So you're allowed to just put them wherever you want. We could just put them up on bases and reinforce the ideas that are already currently here. Imagine a second Soul Gorger over on this Nexus. Imagine, and then an additional one coming out of the discard pile because of how Soul Gorger works. And then this was only the first Aurora that we've resolved.
Yes, correct. We still have another Aurora here, and I actually really like buffing up the Sigil here because it really puts... You don't want to have to reconquer Sigil. You want to hold Sigil forever because every time you reconquer it, you have to recycle a rune.
So interesting.
What did we hit?
So we hit another Soul Gorger, but we opted to not use the first Soul Gorger. So kind of the worst hit, because if we weren't going to use the first one, we're probably not going to use the second one. And so...
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we're just going to load it up. But all 3 Soul Gorgers here on the board against this Kai'Sa deck. But Kai'Sa just drew essentially 5 cards because of the Progress Day, pass turn, draw back up. And we have a plethora of runes right now. 10 runes to mess with. And finding a way of clearing this board. And honestly, my biggest question here is, are we even playing in our deck, either main or side, because we're in game 2, the Mind Domain board wipe?
Yeah, it looks like that's like pay whatever, tap all your dudes, do 12 to everything, which would just clear the whole board.
Yeah, but that is not going to be. This is going to be the signature kind of late game drop that you see for most of these Kai'Sa decks, which is the 1,000-tailed Watcher. It has Accelerate, so we paid for the Accelerate cost for the come in ready. And it says when you play me, you give all enemy units -3 might this turn to a minimum of 1. So these big, heavy hitting units that this deck is playing, you have access to. But immediately, I think with the ability, no, okay, so we let the ability resolve. But as the Trifarian swings in, we're going to play a challenge from our hand. And we're going to say that, hey, before this happens, I'm going to have one of my units fight one of yours.
They still trade, correct?
I think so. I think we're reading the rules also of the Void Gate. But Void Gate, I believe, specifically says damage from spells.
And this is not
challenging
damage.
is fighting.
Two dudes.
Yeah, which they have clarified in the FAQ. So this one, I think, works as in... It doesn't work that way. But... yeah, I guess I just don't know what the targets were, but if we just picked the 2 that we're going to be fighting anyway.
Look at the arm pad on the judge. Do you see it? It's a big
No, I didn't see it.
Well,
oh, I did see it. I saw it earlier, yeah.
It's very funny looking.
Okay, so we played a card and we lost our unit anyway.
Interesting.
So I guess maybe not understanding the reaction of like, well, if they were going to fight anyway and you were already losing, just having them fight earlier doesn't actually do anything. They're still going to fight, and because your guy has -3 might, I'm going to win this one, right?
-3 to all of these, and then giving +3 to your own is such a swing. And that's it. That's the game. So, Kai'Sa wins on that turn.
Yeah, that was the problem, right? Is that Kai'Sa was already at 6 points to win. They go to 8 if they score both, because you scored every battlefield on the same turn. So that not mind splitter, I keep calling it that, but the Fox gives -3 to everything, and then like you said, that pump going up to 10 might. But when all your big units essentially say -9 might against my 10 might unit, you can eventually add up to it and get the win. So 2-0 there for the Kai'Sa deck. Makes a lot of sense when you were so behind after game 1 that you have to really play catch up. And I think, like you said, Tam, when we were finally hitting the dazzling aurora effects, we hit double unit on that turn that didn't really help us, because Soul Gorgers, Tam, not only did we not use their effects because we wanted to save our runes, but Soul Gorgers like base power. Oh, honestly, Tam, we probably couldn't have done it. The Soul Gorger said
it's 5. I was not saying stop.
Oh, sorry, it's 5 might. Yeah,
5.
But we still didn't have any body runes to play things like the Dead Bloom that was in our discard pile. So right. Yeah, we have to still pay the recycle cost. So we just got rune locked, basically.
Yeah, tough. Anyways, man, that Misfortune deck is so cool, and I'm really excited to put it together. I'm such a Dazzling Aurora fan. I think it's so sick, and just like one of the big issues that I have playing like my favorite deck to play right now is Volibear is when you answer my dudes, they're gone forever. And Soul Gorger just says that that's not true.
Yeah.
Right? I just get to bring them back.
Yeah, that's one of the perks.
It's very cool.
Of having the Chaos Domain attached with your Body Domain deck versus having the Fury Domain with your Body Domain deck.
So with that, thank you all for watching round 1. We're going to move on to round 2. It's going to be awesome. This will be an entire playlist. So if you're catching this over on YouTube as the VOD later, thank you. Make sure that you go check out Riftbound Ramblings to catch Barrett as he talked for 92 to 95% of that round. He definitely knows what's going on much more than I do. But
despite the alliteration of the YouTube channel, Tam, it also is just true. I just sometimes ramble. So.
Fair. So with that, thank you much, and we're gonna head on to round 2.